will ever do to improve your poker game, and that is of course hand reading. So it is day 61 of 66. We're in the home stretch, the final week of hand reading. So today we looked at an EP position for the heroes range. Let's take a look at some MP hands right here for today. Wait for it to pop up. We've got it sorted by turn action. We can actually sort it by river action. Check call, check call, check call. Raise. Oh, we already covered this hand. Raise, bet, check, call, check, call. Interesting. So I don't have the greatest of hands, but that might be a cool one to take a take a look at. Check, call, check, call, check, call. Let's see here. Raise, bet. All these checking behind on the river. Okay, some calling hands. Raise, bet, call, call, call. Just looking for some interesting lines. Raise, bet, check. You know, I think raise, raise, bet, bet. Oh, we already covered that one. Check, call, check, raise, and then a bet as well. Wait a second, we raised pre-flop, check called, check raised, and then bet. So we must really like our hand in this one. Let's take a look at this one here. As always, let's see here. We open, and then what happens? One call, two calls. Oh, so who ends up being our opponent? Okay, so the button is our opponent in this hand. Okay, great. We got to whip out our tools of the trade. First is split suits hand reading template here. 878691414. My standard opening size, 3 big blinds. Let me see, who was it? The button calls and the small blind calls, but the button ends up being our villain. Villain on the button. He is a loose passive 42-5. This is the guy we definitely want to see flops with as many as possible. He does have a short stack, but whatever. If he's willing to pay off with a short stack, great if we have something good. Oh, another loose passive too. Look at that. Loose passive 47-2 player. Wow, lovely, lovely. And of course, with any hand reading, we also need Flopzilla out and available. So we're hand reading the villains range. We are opening right now. You can see at this table so far, I'm playing a pretty snug game at 32-8. I'm sorry, 13-8, I mean. And it might be because we've got a loose aggressive here, loose aggressive here. Maybe these guys are doing a ton of opening before it gets to me, so they're possibly not giving me many chances to open because they're stealing the action so much from me. So I'm just playing kind of a nitty game over here on this table so far. So we want to assign him a calling range as a short stack caller, and then we want to assign us an opening range here. As you can see so far, we're in middle position. I've only been raising 8% of hands. So let's start with the 10% range. Now, I have the 2 loose aggressive players. He's in the big blind, and he does fold a lot to steals. This guy's out of it already. So really, I only have kind of one player with a good sized stack, as well as a bit of aggression to worry about. So I think I'm probably raising a little bit wider than just a 10% range. I might not be going to a full 20%. I might not be opening all of these, but whoops, 15%. Let's take a look at that right here. I do like, for myself, I like opening all the suited aces from MP. Might not go to ace 10 off. It depends on how I feel, so I might be opening it here. I bet this is the top. Not the top. I'm not opening anything else offsuit other than this right here, is what I'm thinking. Probably not opening that. Probably opening these two. Maybe king 9. Queen 9 occasionally, but yeah, I'll put that in. And if I'm opening queen 9, I'm probably opening jack 9. But I think with how tight I've been, I don't want to give myself too big of an MP opening range here. Let's see what we've been doing up to this point. In the MP, 20%. Okay. It's only 1 out of 5, right? 1 out of 5, yeah. So far at this table, 1 out of 5. Well, 19% is right there, so we'll say that this is my range. So my opening in the MP versus these players at this table is 19%, 254 combos. All right, and so we have a loose passive guy on the button calling. We can give him a super wide range for calling. We're not doing a dual hand reading today, but we want to assign some kind of hand to him, of course. He's calling really wide. Let's give him a suited gapper, something that can kind of compete with our Broadway heavy and ace heavy range. Let's give him ace jack suited. Okay, so The equity of his hand is 54%. If he does have a suited ace, what is it? What if it's the worst suited ace? Ace deuce, 42% equity, but ace jack all the way up here because he beats a ton of our aces. All of these, he's beating all of our kings, our offsuits. I'm sorry, our offsuit hands, our suited connectors. We're only beating it with 1, 2, 3, 4 hands and the pocket pairs. So really, yeah, it does make sense that he is ahead at this point with this hand. But that doesn't spell doom and gloom for us. Jack, 9, deuce, spade, heart, heart. So on this board, you can... Oh, I unwittingly... So let's give him a different suited jack here. Okay, so he has top pair, top kicker in this instance, 71% equity, but you can see we still have a pretty good amount of equity if this is his hand versus our range, if he has a top pair at this time, because we have plenty of gut shots, open-enders as well with the queen 10. We have pair plus draws with, pair plus flush draw. We have just straight up flush draws. We have 2 overcards, ace, king, ace, queen. And we have all the over pairs, aces, kings, queens. We have a set of jacks, set of 9, set of deuces in our range. So things aren't looking so bad for us right now, even if he does have top pair. Let's see what happens. He checks, and then we just check. And a tiny bet, and then we just call. So, I definitely don't like my hand right now, but I probably have some kind of backdoor equity, if not like some kind of a just small like third pair or even second pair pocket tens equity, which normally I'm betting pocket tens in this instance. So I don't think I have a pocket pair at all. Well, 8s through 3s. I have a weak pocket pair possible, but I think I have 2 overs, plenty of draws at this time. I'm normally betting, but maybe I'm checking because he's so passive. Maybe I'm checking in just the hopes of seeing a free turn. So I might have some kind of a gut shot, actually. So let's take those out of my range. No sets, no 2 pairs, no overpair. There's no way I'm checking and calling an overpair. Top pair, all these jacks. Checking and just calling? There's nothing to be scared of on this board. I really don't think I have a top pair. I think my check and then calling of such a small bet totally caps my range. I don't have anything good in my range. Pocket pair below, I don't even like checking the 10s. I really like betting, leading out with 10s, so I'm not going to give myself that. Middle, okay, all these random 9s, sure. Let's give myself one of those. It's possible. No, weak pairs, yeah, we can be those. Ace highs. Now, it could be checking and call because the bet is so small. I'm check folding if I have an ace high without some kind of a good backup plan, right? If it's ace 8, for example, I would be calling with ace 8 of hearts, ace 8 of spades. But if it's just a random ace 8, ace of diamonds, 8 of clubs, or suited clubs or aces, or diamonds, I'm probably just folding right here. So I won't include just all ace highs. I'll include ace highs with these kind of drawing hands right here. And then just straight up no made hands, no, I don't think I'm check calling. Even though it's 50 cents, I don't like it. I'd rather bet as a bluff with those. So I think I have some kind of showdown equity or drawing equity here. Flush draws, man, I really like leading out with most of these. I don't like just checking calling. Although maybe I'm just trying to do it to keep the pot small and not gonna throw bluffs out at these guys, even a semi-bluff. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm thinking, why bluff at these guys? They don't like to fold. Why bluff with a flush draw? Why not just check call and try to see if I can see it for cheap on the turn or river? So, yeah, I'm possibly check calling with all those. Open-enders, just the queen 10, yeah, check calling. Gutter balls, yeah, why not check call? Overcards is such a small bet. I can check call with overcards. 2 cards I won't say. And all these random pair plus draws and stuff, combo draws. So we're check calling 60% of the range here, and we removed all the best hands. That's a shame. I do not like that at all. How our play just removed it all. I would rather bet and then, even bet half pot, $1.25, and have him call than get to the turn super passively right here. But it might work out. We might be able to take his full stack for the way we played it. 113 combos, 60%. So we removed a pretty good size of our pre-flop range. With this being our range, and if he does have the top pair without a backdoor draw, we currently still have 24% equity. So roughly what we started with when the flop hit. Ace of spades comes. I bet I like that card. I bet I do. So, jeez, I gave him an ace jack. So with the ace jack, he now has 2 pair against our entire range. What happens? We check. He bets just 50. And now I'm throwing out the cheap bluff. I mean, I guess I could be raising as for value, trying to get him to come over the top with his $4.50 behind. I could be doing that. Or I could be just going for some thin value. Maybe I have a weak ace. You know, I could have ace 4, ace 7, ace 8, something like that right here. So I don't think it's a straight up bluff. I think I have some kind of showdown worthy hand. Because he's not folding, why would I be bluffing somebody who's not folding? I don't like doing that at all. So top pair here. All these jacks. Hold on a second. I need to remove these from the range. So one thing, when you're filtering and you remove these filters, but suddenly there's still 4 cards remaining as top pairs, it's because all these jacks are somewhere else here. So I got to find them and remove them from the other ranges. So ace, king, queen, and the 10 with the jack. So it's not weak pair. It's got to be some kind of a flush draw. It is a flush draw. So let's remove all these jacks here. And once I hit accept, you can see it goes away. If I would have kept that highlighted, as soon as the ace hits, those hands are still in on the next street. So now that once we click this, those hands are no longer there. All those random second pair, you can see they're all gone now, like that. So that's the way to go. So a bet and a call, or I mean, I'm sorry, a check and a call. What am I? Or check raise. My bad. What am I thinking here? Check raise. 2 pair, totally check raising. Top pair, sure, I just now hit the ace. He's making a tiny little bet and going for some kind of thin value. Totally check raising top pairs. Pocket pair, no. Middle pair, no. Weak pair, I see no reason. I'm just check calling here. He's so loose passive. It's such a tiny bet. I have equity. I would just be calling with these weak pairs. Flush draws. Turn flush draws. I don't see any reason to check and then raise with a flush draw. I really don't. He's so loose passive. I mean, am I going to try to get a passive guy to fold? He's most likely betting just a weak jack or a 9 or a couple of hearts the whole way. He's not folding for his short stack when the pot is already $4 in the pot. And then after his bet, so, I mean, he's got a stack to pot ratio of just 1 right now. He's going after this pot no matter what. I cannot bluff him off of his hand, so I've got to remove the bluffs. I really think I only have these hands, not even weak pair. Like, I'm literally narrowing myself down to 25 hands right now. That's it. 25%, 25 combos of hands. All kind of like value raising. And they're basically kind of like thin value hands. Well, 2 pairs, a straight up value bet, value raise. But the top pairs, a lot of these can be just kind of thin value, thinking that I'd be lucky if he calls with a jack or a 9 at this point. So, yeah, I'm just value raising here. I see no reason to raise as a bluff. King of diamonds comes. Yeah, he just called. That leaves 650 in the pot, half pot behind, or half pot in a stack, whatever. King of diamonds comes. Complete, sure, the queen 10, but we took that out of my range, and he might have a queen 10 as his range, going the whole way, open-ender, making the tiny little blocking bluff bets. It's possible here. But now I probably hit like 2/3 pot or whatever just to make him commit his full stack right here. And he just calls. Good. So what are we, which is all he can do, call or fold. What are we making this bet with? The king, sure. The king does complete some draws right there. But at this point, if I do have 2 pair or top pair, I'm just betting, and I just don't want to miss out on him calling with a jack or a 9 or even a weaker ace at this point. I think I'm strictly going for value. I like the entire range of 2 pair and top pairs for my value range, so I'm going to keep all 23 combos in right now. And you might be wondering, hey, how did it go from 25 combos on the turn to 23? Well, when the king of diamonds hit, it removed some kings that we possibly had still in our range. So now we're at 23 combos, which was, I don't know, a really big percentage of the prior. Oh, it's 100%. That's right. So if this is our range, and if he does have the top 2 pair, he's got 74% lock on the hand. But I really doubt he has top 2 at this point. Or not top 2, but ace, jack, 2 pair. Ace, king, nice. And a king 9, gravy. So you can see the ace, king right there, and it is still in our range. We kept it in on the flop because it was such a tiny bet that we decided to check call. We didn't want to give up with 6 outs to a top pair hand, you know. So he bet the 9 right there. He check called us on the turn with just a 9. He just had third pair with the king kicker. He wasn't going to give up, like I said, with his tiny stack and the pot size the way it was already. And then when the king hit, great. We both got 2 pair. Things just worked out really well. That's a hand that he should not be calling pre-flop, but that is why you want to see pots with these kinds of guys. 42-5, 47-2. Don't know what his ends up being, but we want to see as many pots with the loose passive players as we can. Because as you can see, we have such a dominating league. I mean, ace king versus king 9, we're probably like 72% favorite pre-flop. It's king 9 offsuit, right? So we're off versus off. Ace king offsuit versus king 9 offsuit. 76% favorite. So I was a few percentage points off. I said 72. We're a 76% favorite right here. I mean, if you could do this hand after hand over millions of hands, get it in, not get it in, but get involved pre-flop as a 76% favorite, you're just going to be making money in the long run. So it's a great situation to be in. I'm glad I stayed in on the flop. I guess I did have the backdoor straight draw with the backdoor flush draw. Not too shabby. Plus 6 outs or 6 overs. 6 overcard outs. So it wasn't a bad check call. I could have not donk led. I could have c-bet as a bluff on the flop. But the thing is, you can see he's so loose passive. If they hit any part of this like he did, he's not going away. And if I didn't get lucky to turn and river a 2 pair on the guy, he would have beat us with his 9 high, and he probably would have called flop, turn, and river versus our bets, most likely. So it went out. It ended up playing out well just by check calling on that flop, hitting that value hand on the flop on the turn, and then getting max value on the river. Love that hand. Good stuff. I'm happy with the way I played it. Happy that we ranged it and gave myself ace king at the end right there. Alrighty, y'all. Thank you very much for watching day 61 of 66. I will catch you on the flip side, day 62.